Welcome to System Shock 2. In this update, we are tackling the final deck of the Von Braun. Deck 6. Command.
My creation has run rampant. I demand their extermination. I have no choice but to destroy this starship.
We can make our escape in the Rickenbacker. But you must transfer my intelligence
To that ship first. Proceed to the Von Braun's bridge on this deck. There you will find an access card to Command Center on Ops. Find the card and proceed to Ops. But beware, the human annelid hybrids grow more sophisticated by the minute. You do not.
So, our order of affair will be to get Shodan out of this ship. And obviously we have no choice to do so because she'll be absolutely sure to make it so that we won't be able to leave this ship without her, considering that at this point she just controls all of the luck on this ship, including this one which forbids us from going into that section. And being the final deck of this ship, Deck 6 is actually a pretty short deck. In length, it's pretty comparable to Engineering, both in size and the time that it's gonna take you to go through it. There are only two sections on this deck anyway. This one, which is both short and very linear, and the second one, which is quite bigger. The main gimmick of the viral proliferator is that you can set the virus that it shoots to affect different targets. Since there are spiders waiting for us, we'll set it on aniline mode and we'll also take the time to upgrade the weapon. The first upgrade increases the clip size and the second one will make it so that it will only use one worm per shot.
You have wounded Xerxes, but we will not allow him to be destroyed. See if the Machine Mother
treats her servant with such devotion.
Yeah, after all, I'll be lucky if Shodan even allows me to leave this ship.
I hope you're still alive, Miss Delroy. We really could use some guidance up here. They've got those lady cyborgs of theirs loading up the shuttles with those eggs. I don't know what their plan is, but it looks like they're running scared. I hear rumors of someone else besides you fighting back. Should I even hope to get out of this? I'm just gonna hang back until I figure out what the hell to do.
Hey, that was Melon's cousin, only though that Melon had a red shirt. And we picked up a new ability, which is Molecular Duplication. This ability gives you some chance to duplicate a certain kind of ammo type for a certain nanite cost, but considering that my Psi ability is high enough, the success rate is just guaranteed. And whenever you go with exotic weapons, it's a must, because unlike every other weapon type or ammo type in this game, worms is a finite quantity, because the only way to get worms is out of beakers and all of this, and you cannot buy beakers anywhere in this game. You can only find them lying on the ground, and you cannot buy any worm clusters or anything of the sort. But here you can see that it's sometimes pretty hard to aim this weapon correctly. You need to have a pretty good idea of where your target is and when to let go of the button in order to make your projectile explode. It also has some other drawbacks, but we're probably gonna run out of time pretty soon, so I'm just gonna elaborate on those whenever I'll have the opportunity to use the weapon again. In the meantime, let's get on board.
The Machine Mother told us of the planet of her birth.
We know how you have harmed this place with your pollution
Your violence.
and your discord. But when we arrive there
We will cleanse the surface of that place
and merge it with the harmony of the many.
Security system online.
Thanks the many, thanks to your speech, now I have to deal with those turrets. But with a high enough energy weapon skill, you can see that turrets are not really anything that you need to fear anymore. Just shoot them once with the big laser, and then 3 more lasers. It gets even easier whenever you get the EMP rifle, because 2 shots will outright destroy them.
Lito indicated that the AI, who now believed to be Shodan, was actually going...
I can't really say that Shodan backstabbing anyone was a big surprise, but yeah, let's just hope that everything is still alright for Delroy, because you know that Shodan is not really anything that you need to trifle with. After all, what we're killing right now is her creatures. Well, there was not really much of a storyline here, I mean on deck 5, because there was pretty much just the story about the transmitter and how people were trying to set it up to run and all of this. But yeah, deck 6 is really where you start to feel a little bit more involved with the story yourself. I mean, there was this one log by this guy called McKay that's pretty much directly mentioned you, as the other guy was fighting back against the many, alongside with Delroy, but yeah, and now Delroy is in trouble. Now, this is pretty interesting because you never face the same enemy in this place here. Sometimes it's a cyborg assassin, the other time it's a giant spider.
The data gathering process is going well. Before I'm taken by the many, I will hopefully transmit a fair bit of information to whoever will listen. The large floating creatures are not only capable of attacking with powerful psi projections, but are psi projections themselves. Destroying them only temporarily disables them. Their real source of power comes from a small control organism, which is usually located somewhere nearby. Although this control organism is quite powerful through its projections, it's eminently vulnerable once rooted out.
What the hell was that one thing in the background which was growling? Where the hell is this guy?
I've located you, finally. This is Dr. Marie Delroy. I have vital information for you, but I'm trapped in Cargo Bay A. Come find me as soon as you can.
By the way, do not do the same mistake that I did. She's talking about the cargo base on this deck, not engineering.
Move it, Tommy! The escape pod is this way!
That damn worm nearly bit my leg off. Oh no.
And both of these guys are still alive as well. Well, I hope they will still be alive in order to make it through the escape pod safely, but yeah, at this rate I'm not gonna be able to give them any kind of help. So that's one less camera out of the way. I'm not gonna go there for a while, but hey, whenever it's done. Oh, and the introduction to this one deck is pretty goofy, as you will see pretty soon, because all of the characters came from that corner over here, but there's absolutely no reason as to why they will come out of here, and why there will be a rumbler chasing them at that point. Was like, were they raising him as a pet or something, and then it suddenly went awry and wanted to kill them? I just don't get it. Why was all of this happening? As much as I really like the writing and all of this in this game, this part, however, just feels dumb. I mean, if they just added a door or something that could explain why they came from here and the monster was chasing them, that would have been okay, but no, I just cannot take it. It's a good thing that for the most part, enemies in this game are totally deaf. Yeah, that guy just didn't have any kind of idea about what was going on.
Getting the escape pod working again wasn't as easy as we thought. Beck had to go back down to engineering. Thank God somebody managed to get the elevators turned on again. I found the bridge key and performed the override on the access protocols. And now I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, listening to audio log whenever there's an enemy roaming all over the place and you have no clue where he is never fails to be unnerving. And yeah, earlier I also had to use my first maintenance tool of the entire game. Yep, all the way up to deck 6, we finally had to repair weapons. And this is a trend that will have to continue on pretty soon, because there will be one set of weapons in this game that will particularly need them. And that is, of course, our alien weaponry, because you probably didn't really look at it yet, but you've probably seen so far that whenever we shoot this weapon, the durability of it went down pretty fast. I mean, we only shot it something like 6 or 7 times, and yet it's already down by 2 points in durability. Yeah, just shooting 4 shots will drain an entire point of durability, and therefore you need maintenance skills in order to be able to use exotic weapons, because otherwise they break way too easy. Sorry, but every video needs its quota of juvenile humor.
The Machine Mother has enlisted 2 avatars against us.
They stab them, but they will fail against our unity. Does not the Machine Mother know?
Her own creation is greater than she. She is cold and empty, and we
are warm and full.
She seeks only to destroy. We seek to embrace,
to include. All flesh will join ours, or be wiped clean.
Security system online.
I'll echo most of the crew members of the Von Braun. What the hell happened to this guy?
Adrenaline activated.
Yeah, it always pays off to take some time in order to listen to what's going on around you, because here we managed to step on worms, but we also managed to get the jump on this assassin.
I am a soldier and a simple man. I cannot explain what has happened to me or this mission. I take complete responsibility. I brought danger to my ship, to my crew, to my honor. I cannot resist the changes that are happening to me. The call of the many is seductive. They got Korechkin, but that bastard is weak. I am not weak. I can resist this cancer. And if I cannot, I will remove it forcibly. God save the UNN.
Okay, so we gotta give Captain Diego some credit. Even though he's pretty much completely responsible for what's going on this ship, at least he has the balls to admit that he was all wrong all along, and finally that he's trying to fight back in order to undo the wrongs that he's done, as well then outright just say, "No, fuck you mind-controlling worms. I am the master of myself."
Security system offline.
And yeah, as you might see, on this portion of the ship, the security is disabled for a much shorter amount of time, so even with high cyber affinity, you must not waste time.
They've cut off the central elevator. What's going on? Last night I had the strangest dream. I was in my room by myself, but all of a sudden there was not just me there, but 100 me's, 1,000 me's. The strange thing was, it felt good. I felt like I was part of something, like I belong. I hope I have the same dream tonight.
I don't really know what to think about Norris. Some of his logs give some interesting insight on what's happening in the ship, but him turning into the many doesn't really make the most interesting logs.
Paranoia has struck. Somebody has changed the access codes to the security station in the officers' quarters, and now we can't get the key to shuttle control. I think Myers is the likely suspect. All that guy thinks about is conspiracy theories and naked girls.
Yeah, the command deck really has some weird people around the place. First of all, we have this guy who is pretty interesting in a way, and finally we have Myers, which is the greatest character of the entire game.
So sorry you didn't see where you went. That's the triathlon way. Adrenaline activated.
Yeah, even when you catch these robots off guard, you can never tell how many times you will be shot in the face by their huge lasers. In the place where I was, avoiding them was pretty much close to impossible. That's the tri-optimum way indeed.
Wait, come back. Wait, come back.
Something is going on. Korenchkin has sealed himself off in Deck 3. He keeps calling for people to go down there one by one. Vogel, Boyton, Switterak, none of them will come back. If they call for me, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And Bronson is starting to make a lot of noise. You're the senior flight officer, you have to act. I would, if I knew what the hell was going on.
Wait, come back.
Okay, let's have some peace and quiet for the next slug. Those robots are way too loud.
I got an email from Korenchkin this morning saying he was coming up for an inspection. And when he arrived, it was something revolting. It was Anatoly, but it wasn't. At the same time, it seemed beautiful, and I felt like part of it. He sang to us, all of us, and we felt like one of many.
There really is a huge contrast between the first few logs that this character does, where he kinda wants to do something in order to counteract all of the alien invasion, and then at the end he's just like, oh, the many are great. That's how great the many are, because remember that they have the ability to control people simply with their telepathic powers. And now to take care of the robots which are upstairs. It could be risky if it wasn't for the fact that you can shoot them up there through the cracks onto the floor. I'm not really sure why you can fall off the command deck like that, considering that it's supposed to be for all of the high-ranking officers, but hey, I'm not gonna mind.
I'm sure this is...
It might have been just a misunderstanding, but it was one misunderstanding that ended with your death. So our goal on this portion of the ship is to figure out the access code that will allow us to get to the control room of command, which is where we'll find the keycard leading to the shuttle base on this floor, which we will need later. And once again, Pyrofield proves its supremacy. If anything, this is almost one of those times where you probably could end up using your grenade launcher in order to destroy all of those worms, because at this point, just whipping them one by one using your wrench or crystal shard or whatever you're using almost feels like a waste of time. And besides, using grenades in order to blow insignificant things is always good for a laugh. Also, I have absolutely no clue why I keep overloading this ability in order to destroy eggs, because my Psy abilities are good enough so that at this point of the game, I pretty much don't need it anymore in order to insta-kill those guys. And at one point, I'll gain enough Psy abilities in order to make it so that I'll be able to kill them without even needing the research bonus. And for some reason, you also find a whole lot of grenades on this portion of the ship. Especially incendiary grenades. I'm pretty sure that on this section alone, I mean just the room below us, as well as the crew quarters that we have going on here, we can find enough incendiary grenades in order to kill 1,000,000 of rumblers. Because that's probably gonna be your weapon of choice if you go heavy weapons, but once again, if you want to kill them fast, you want an assault rifle. Okay, how the hell did that one guy ended up here? I mean, I know that people love the biomass, but this is kinda stretching it a bit. And yeah, when I was talking about the grenades, here are some more of them because we clearly need more grenades. But hey, I will never complain about free grenades considering how expensive they are.
I am pleased. Transmitting cybernetic modules. Do not squander them.
Wow, if only Shodan was as generous earlier with the modules. I mean, all I got was picking up a log.
I rewired the security station to 83273. I don't trust any of those bastards.
So yeah, Myers, ladies and gentlemen, please give him a hand for the most worthwhile appearance in the game. I mean, he's just a nuisance to your side, but the thing is, he's just doing it because he's a dick, and not because he's under the influence of the many. So we have a high security crate, and in order to open these, you need a hacking skill of 6, so instead I'm just gonna use one of my heist picks in order to open them. And for me, this crate is especially worth it, considering it has 2 large beakers inside it, which is good in order to collect more worms. Even if at this point, since I have molecular duplications, I don't really need beakers anymore, but hey, it's just gonna help me save up on nanites. Yeah, this is definitely an acceptable number of worms that we have here. It will definitely be just okay if we didn't have a modified annelid or viral proliferator because it uses 2 ammo a shot whenever it's not modded at all, but the way it is right now, this weapon is just going to break way before I run out of ammo. Considering that, like I said, this weapon degrades very quickly, and unlike most weapons in the game, which will only have a chance of breaking whenever they'll only have like 1 point of durability left, there's a chance that the viral proliferator will break whenever it goes all the way down to 3 durability. So you need to keep a constant watch on this at all times. Okay, I have no clue why I'm using cryokinesis against a cyborg assassin, considering that after looking at it some more, it turns out that it only deals half damage against these, which is really weird because cryokinesis deals full damage against robots, so who knows why them being half mechanical makes it so that cryokinesis is less effective. Also, for some reason, these assault robots have got a very guttural scream whenever you hurt them. Okay, so this hallway is a huge mess because there's a shitload of people all over the place and you can never be sure where they're gonna bounce over in order to attack you. So might as well give him some taste of our psi powers in order to steal all of his life away. Soma transference can target any enemy in the game that isn't a robot, so you have to target a living being. And it cannot be a swarm because these things cannot be hurt by pretty much 99% of the weapons in the game. But we finally have a weapon into our hand that will allow us to deal with swarms, and it's the one that I use in order to destroy all of these eggs. Oh, we've just hit the mother lode. A Psy-Horgan. I never would have thought that I'd see another one of these, considering how rare they are. And finally, they get even more useful whenever you get in the endgame, because at this point you probably have far more Psy points, so they'll be even more effective, considering that they refill your entire Psy point pool. And yeah, by the way, you cannot duplicate it, or Psy hypos for that matter. Yeah, I just remembered right now that you cannot use a neural reconstruction in order to take control of spiders.
Rebecca, we're out of time. Get into the pod.
So we finally found some people that were able to flee the ship successfully. And thankfully they left behind the bridge access card in their wake, so now we can finally get on the bridge of the Von Braun in order to go and take the Ops access card that we were told about by Shodan. So might as well go and take a look all over the place while we have our good friend the cyborg assassin mounting guard for us. Cyborg assassins and rumblers are just great targets for this ability, considering how strong these enemies are and how dangerous they can be in combat. But right now I think I'll be able to fend for my own, but you did a good job, Cyborg Assassin. The first and last pod places is where you'll find all of the good stuff, and especially here because there's a Friendship Stein device that happens to be very easy to miss. Also, the command deck probably has the worst emplacement for all of the upgrade devices of the game because they're all scattered willy-nilly all over the deck, and it's pretty much a pain in the ass to choose what you want to upgrade because everything is so far away. So at this point, you're better off doing all of your upgrades on the recreation deck. So where the hell is the robot? I still hear him, and yet I've not found a single trace of... Ah, here he is. Good to finally meet you.
Adrenaline deactivated.
I am pleased. Transmitting cybernetic modules. Do not squander them.
I'm actually kind of excited to finally go on the bridge of the Von Braun. This will be the closest that I'll ever be to be a captain on this ship. But you can be sure that the Many has quite the welcoming committee for you. First of all, we have one of those giant robots of doom, and who knows what else we'll find. Yeah, the bridge is a pretty expensive place. And we have a new kind of turret right over here. For some reason, it cannot shoot us if we are standing right here, but if we jump, you can definitely be sure that they'll shoot at you. And holy shit, these turrets are nasty. They have a pretty slow firing rate, but their attacks are very hard to dodge because they have a blast radius, and finally they deal a lot of damage. And despite the appearances, because it's a fire attack and all of this, Pyro Field will not protect you against this, because this deals standard damage. You always gotta fight your assassins with a perfectly fine laser pistol. Oh shit, assassin, help me! This is definitely a part of the ship where you'll be happy to have friends, even if they're helping you against their will. Now, you're probably gonna wonder, should I actually invest in having 6 points of hacking in order to be able to open these crates with all of my will? Well, I'll answer the question right now.
Your skill surprises me. Transmitting cybernetic modules.
The answer is not really, because it turns out that there's only 3 crates like these in the entire game, so we've already seen more than half of the high security crates that we will see into the game. So in short, you're probably better off using your heist picks in order to open them, and even then you kinda need to know which one of the crates is worth opening, because not all of them are worth it. I mean, the one crate that I just opened was borderline worthless, considering that all it had were nanites and a blue brain implant that I'm never gonna use. And finally, if you don't have hacking, you're probably better off keeping your heist picks for another reason, but we will only know so later into the game. And we are now done with the command deck for the time being. Right now we have the key that will allow us to do something else in the ops deck, and by doing so we will open up some more stuff to do in the command deck. So stay tuned for the conclusion of Deck 6. Command.